Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. It is Monday morning. It is Halloween. And I'm going to do my Bela Lugosi imitation for the moment. In honor of Halloween, I come to drink the blood from the neck. Anyway, welcome. And on No BS Job Search Advice Radio, I like to give you very straightforward and direct advice because unlike you, I hear what clients say about job hunters. And most of what I tell you is the feedback I get from job hunters, from employers, and not just simply my own opinions. So when I talk with you about mistakes that you may be committing as part of your job search, understand I'm just trying to help you. Don't hear it as criticism. Hear it as the voice of someone who lives in the trenches with employers and job hunters, who hears about the mistakes that many of you make. And I'm trying to fix it because, frankly, in this economy, despite what you may read about very soon about things picking up, for many of you, it's real tough out there. For some folks, it's a lot easier. But if you've been out of work for 6, 9, 12 months or more, it's going to be hard to land, and you can't waste any opportunities. So I want to talk with you today about some of the scary things, the ghoulish things you may be doing that are keeping you from getting interviews, keeping you from getting the results, keeping you from getting the job that you really want. So I've got my top 6 scary things that job hunters do all the time that stand in their way between finding work or continuing to stay out of work. And the first one is one of my pet peeves, and that's sending out generic resumes. What do I mean by that? Sending out the same resume over and over again as though they're applying for the same job. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see a job listing, everyone's a little bit different. When I talk to a recruiter about a job, or when you talk to a recruiter about a job, I should say, and you hear about a position, they're all a little bit different. Yet, most of you send out the same resume over and over again. It's wrong. It's like the broken watch is right twice a day. And you can't send out the same resume over and over again. You've got to make alterations. You've got to tailor them in order to ensure that what you send to an employer, what you send to a recruiter, demonstrates that you fit the role. So that's scary thing number one that most people I know do. Second thing that people do that hurt them is they don't do any interview preparation. So what sort of preparation am I talking about? Real simple. Do you spend any time reviewing the job description? Do you spend any time reviewing how you'll answer some of the predictable questions that you're going to be asked on an interview? Do you spend any time doing research into the firm and what its circumstances are? Most people don't. They arrive at an interview ready to wing it. That is, spontaneously answering questions without any sort of preparation. Now, I don't know about you, but actors and actresses, they rehearse. Sports teams, they practice. Why aren't you? With a little bit of preparation, you can perform so much better. Because if you've been on a couple of interviews, you can already see the patterns of the questions that they're asking. So why not rehearse your answers? And rehearse them to the point where it doesn't sound like they're rehearsed. So here's the third one. By the way, I only have 5 tips. My apologies. So this is scary thing number 3 that many of you do. You only use job boards. How goofy is that? Job boards statistically fill about 6% of all positions. That's it. Now, if you want to include recruiters who ostensibly fill 22% of all positions and say, well, they're running an ad, on a job board. Okay, I'm okay with that. So that's 28% of all jobs are being filled by job boards and recruiters. So what about the other 72%? So focusing purely on job boards, focusing purely on recruiters, and not doing networking and reaching out to people and asking for advice and trying to connect with people who know you or are willing to help you is just foolish. It's a ridiculous mistake to be making. Here's the fourth thing. And this is a personal one. I want to admit to that. This is a personal one. I know employers sometimes complain about it, but this is a personal one from me. It's the Monday morning at 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30 phone call that goes, "Hi, what's going on?" It's a waste of time. There's nothing going on at that time. You know it, and I know it. And I know that the strategy is to get yourself into people's minds, but all you're doing is annoying them. They're trying to connect with their colleagues. They're trying to get started on their day. For myself, on a typical Monday morning, and understand, I often log on over the weekend, but Monday morning I'm walking into over 100 emails. I've got to respond to a number of them. I've got a crisis to deal with. I do my radio show. So calling me early in the morning to say, "Hi, what's going on?" is an interruption. And you won't get through to me. You won't get through to most recruiters, whether they be third-party or corporate recruiters, because they're just trying to get settled into their day. So don't waste the time. Just wait till later, because then you can have more of a positive effect. So that's scary mistake number 4 people make. Lastly, and again, this is a personal one from me, but I hear it from others. It's the idea that many job hunters are really unkind to recruiters or other people that they meet during their job search. Let me give you an example. For 6 years, I commuted by bus to New York, and I was online the entire way doing work. And on occasion, I made a spelling mistake. And you had to read some of the emails that were sent to me for spelling mistakes. Now, I don't know about you, but putting aside my commute, I sometimes make a mistake. I suspect that's true of you too. Would you really like to get ripped a new asshole for having made a mistake? And I'm not talking about, I do it all the time. It's an infrequent thing. Every once in a while, a mistake gets out. I'm rushing. I'm doing a lot of things concurrently. A mistake occurs. Is that how you want to be treated by your manager? I don't think so. Why do you think I would want to be treated in that way? Why do you think any recruiter would want to be treated that way? And then you expect us to help you. So I've got to pause for a second and point out how ridiculous that behavior is and why it hurts you. Because whether you like my work or not, whether you like this particular recruiter's work or not, they do have access to other opportunities. I so much prefer a polite email that says, "Jeff, you had a mistake in here. Let me just bring it to your attention." So that way you can fix it before you send the article out to anyone else. I thank those people. Often I'll send them a copy of one of my books just as a way of showing appreciation. I consider that helpful. I don't consider getting yelled at helpful. So those are 5 scary, ghoulish things that people do when they're looking for work that stand between them and finding a position. Okay? So now I'll drop the Bela Lugosi imitation. And let's talk about some of the jobs I'm recruiting for around the United States. And I want to start this by saying there are more positions at my website, which is JeffAltman.com. So if you don't hear anything now that makes sense for you, come on over to the website and go exploring there, because there are many more jobs listed there. So the first one is for an engineering manager in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. And I want to make it clear this is a software engineering manager, not an electrical engineering manager. They want a couple of people with experience in open source technologies that helped lead the development of different cutting-edge features for this firm's websites. So they're looking for, management experience, people who've done coaching, folks who've been involved with startups, who've been involved with web technology. This is going to these positions are going to about $100,000 on a base plus bonus. Then I have a role in New York for a bilingual financial software business analyst, bilingual English-Spanish. Financial experience and background is a must. Well-spoken, can write well in both languages. You're going to be asked to multitask. So in situations where you've worked on multiple things concurrently, welcome. That's what this expectation is going to be. This is going to about $115,000 on a base plus bonus. I have a role with a firm for a Swing developer, strong Java skills, experience with applets, WebStart, AWT, Swing, GUI Java toolkits, strong network programming skills, financial services industry experience is a must. And by that, I just want to be clear, we're not talking about someone who has experience with the human resource system of a financial services firm. We're talking about product knowledge. Have a role for a junior Java developer going to about 120, strong Java skills, both Unix and Windows background, finance experience, again, a New York area job. Have a role for a senior that's going to about 150, looking for expert level Java programming, again, Unix and Windows, servlets, JSP, web services, Tomcat, SQL Server, database programming, network programming skills, financial services industry experience with fixed income and derivatives is a plus, experience with Bloomberg, Reuters APIs is a bigger plus. This is going to about 150 on a base plus bonus. Have an Oracle DBA job in Jersey City for a degreed individual, 10 or more years of experience, good oral and written skills, ability to work on-call hours, previous experience with various database management systems in implementation, testing, maintenance, and administration in a multi-platform environment. They want 11G experience in a Red Hat Linux rack environment. Must have experience installing, upgrading, and supporting 11G on Red Hat and SUSE Linux. Experience with generic Linux is a preference. Another preference is the Oracle e-Business Suite 11i and Discover BI technologies. So these are some of the current positions we have available. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to mention one more. A PL SQL developer in Jersey City. 3 years of PL SQL in an Oracle database environment, experience with SQL to query and analyze an Oracle database, knowledge of RWA calculations, external ratings and credit reporting. Credit risk reporting is a plus, going to about $85,000 on a base plus bonus. So if you're qualified, interested, and available in any of these roles, please email your resume to me at thebiggamehunter@cisny.com. If you know someone who might fit one of them better, by all means invite them to forward a resume. I just ask for the courtesy that in the subject line, put the phrase on spec. This way I can look at it at my convenience and not rush. There are a lot of people who are applying for jobs for which they do fit. I want to deal with those first. I'll get to you as soon as I can, and I'll inventory it in my database and contact you when I have something suitable. I also want to encourage you, come over to my website, which is jeffaltman.com. Spend some time exploring there. Sign up for a complimentary subscription to my e-zine if you're not getting it already. The e-zine, which is called No BS Job Search Advice e-zine, carries articles every Tuesday with suggestions about job hunting that are different than the audios that I do for No BS Job Search Advice Radio and my Wednesday audio. So spend some time exploring there and use the various tips I have there. This is Jeff Altman. I'll be speaking with you again next week. Take care.